Hi besties, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Bri if you're new here, and I'm gonna be honest, I have been in a very 3-star slump so far this year. I think I've finished 3 books. I'm currently listening to a 4th. I'm listening to an audiobook, and I'm also just like not getting a great feeling. So we need to change all of that. We need to try and find my first 5-star read of the year. I am just like craving a good book. None of the books that I've read so far I've been like obsessed with. I haven't been dying to read. Like I said, they definitely have me kind of in a slump. So my mission today is to pick out books that have amazing reviews that I feel like I will love and hopefully find a 5-star read. Now the first book I'm actually gonna start today is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. When you guys are watching this, the movie is already out, and I knew I wanted to reread this book before the movie because I actually read this book when it first came out in 2021, and I'm not gonna lie, I did not really love it. I thought it was really slow. I thought it was pretty boring, but also my reading taste has definitely changed over almost 5 years now, and I have loved so many other Emily Henry books. This was the first book I ever read by her, but I have given 4 of her books 5 stars. I love Beach Read, I love Happy Place, I love Great Big Beautiful Life, I love Book Lovers. Really the only ones that I didn't love were People We Meet on Vacation and then Funny Story. I also want to go back and reread all of her books and annotate all of them, but I'm thinking the second time around reading this, I might love it because again, like my reading taste has definitely changed. I have grown to love Emily Henry, so I feel like I might love this. I don't know. If I give this a 5-star rating this time around, that will actually be crazy because I think when I read this initially, I wasn't like really rating books or anything then, but remembering how I felt about it, I probably would have given it like 2.5 stars. Yeah. But I have a feeling I'm really gonna like this, maybe even love it, and I am gonna annotate it. And then I'm gonna watch the movie. So I'm a little bit nervous to start this, but also like so excited because what if I love it? That will just be like the best feeling ever if I end up loving it. So let's see how this first book goes, and then we'll pick out our next one from there. I forgot how many Easter eggs Emily Henry does, and I just read one. Okay, I am currently kicking past me because what do you mean I didn't like this book? Like, what was wrong with me to not enjoy this book? Because this time around rereading it, I am loving it. I have not been able to put it down. I'm over 200 pages in, so that's over 50% through the book, and I don't even want to put it down. I just want to keep binging the whole thing and then go watch the movie because Poppy and Alex, they're so cute. And here's the thing, I'll get more into the book in a second, but I think the reason I didn't enjoy it so much 4.5 years ago, 5 years ago, I don't know, is because it more so reads like just a women's fiction with a romance subplot, and back then I just wanted like straight up romance. Like that's all I wanted. So this was a slower read for me because you're not really getting romance in it. You are getting a story about friendship, and maybe there is some like pining between the friends, but nothing is like acted upon because they don't want to ruin their friendship. This time around I'm loving it because I think I like literary fiction with a romance subplot. I think that is probably my favorite kind of book at this point in my life. That is just what I have been really enjoying for like the past year. So the fact that this reads just like that, I am loving it. And honestly, if I end up giving it a 5-star rating, that will be absolutely crazy. Like my brain just can't even fathom that because I didn't like it the first time I read it. If you don't know what People We Meet on Vacation is about, it's following our main character, Poppy. She has been best friends with Alex for like 10 years. Every single summer since they've been friends, they have went on a vacation together. But the book also starts out where Poppy and Alex have not spoken in 2 years. So that is very, very crazy and very, very even hard for Poppy to think about because he was her best friend for so long. And you as the reader don't know what exactly happened between them, but we know that something happened between them when they were on a vacation one summer. And since then, it's just has not been the same. But Poppy and Alex are going back on a trip together. Poppy works for this like travel, well, not an agency, but like travel magazine. And Poppy is also a travel blogger. I just think that is such a cool job. Like honestly sounds like a dream job. Like pitching ideas on where to vacation and then getting to go and check it out and like come up with these vacation recommendations. Dream job. So that is so fun. And Poppy's character is so quirky, but not like weird quirky, just like very, very unique, very high energy. And then Alex, he is such like a golden retriever, but he's so calm and he's so like level-headed. So they're very, very different in that aspect, but they balance each other out so nicely, and that's why they're such good friends. I love them. And I haven't even gotten to like the romance part of the book. So Poppy is trying to fix their relationship on this week-long vacation that they're taking together in Palm Springs. And there's a lot of bumps in the road, but Poppy, like her one goal is to just fix this relationship and get her best friend back because she misses Alex so much. So I'm definitely enjoying it. I don't remember everything that happens in the book. Obviously, I remember like bigger plot points, but I still think I'm going to be surprised because I don't remember what happens in like probably the last 10% of the book. We'll see. I honestly haven't been tabbing too much. There haven't been a ton of quotes that have hit me, but I do have 5 highlights. This may be your sign. If you read a book and didn't enjoy it, maybe give it a little while. Your reading taste will change and evolve a little bit, and then you might love it the second time around, because that's how it's going with me and People We Meet on Vacation. So I'm gonna keep reading as much of this as I can tonight, and I'll probably be back when I finish it, I would guess. Okay, you just witnessed me finish People We Meet on Vacation, and you guys, once again, I don't know what was wrong with me in 2021 when I read this and didn't like it, because oh my god, I loved it. Like, it's so crazy. When I heard that the movie was being made for this, I was like, why would they make a movie for her worst book? What is wrong with me? Like, is this my favorite Emily Henry book? No, but oh my gosh, it is still such an incredible book, and I still love it so much. I think it's so crazy how much I disliked it when I read it the first time, and now years later, I am just absolutely loving it, and now I just want to go watch the movie and see if they stayed true to this book, because there is no need to stray from anything in this book. Just seeing Poppy and Alex, their friendship, and how it evolves over 12 vacations that we get to see with them. They're so cute. Alex is such like the perfect book boyfriend. Like, did I not realize that when I read it the first time? And Poppy, oh my gosh, I do not remember thinking I related to Poppy this much, which also, I was very, very depressed when I read this book, so that probably doesn't help. But oh my gosh, reading Poppy's character now and just reading how she wasn't really accepted by other kids growing up and how she just feels weird and like out of place compared to everyone else, and then like going somewhere else and being on vacation, she can be her true self and there's always going to be another person like her, and her just like, yearning to be accepted and just loved for who she is. Yeah, I am Poppy. Poppy is me. So don't know how I never realized that and put that together. I ended up doing a lot more highlights. Like, there's so many beautiful quotes in this book. Here's the thing. Is it a 5-star? Usually when a book makes me cry, it's a pretty good contender to be a 5-star. But you guys, I genuinely do not know. I feel like I honestly need to reread every single Emily Henry book and compare them all, because this is a 4.5-star rating for sure, but I don't know if it's quite a 5. Like, I didn't get that 5-star feeling. If you're a reader, I feel like you know what I'm talking about with that whole 5-star feeling. Like, sometimes you will just finish a book, you'll close it, and you'll be like, yeah, there's no way, like, this is anything else other than a 5-star rating, and I'm not getting that feeling. But I did love it. But I'm like, do I love it as much as other Emily Henry books? And I feel like Happy Place will still be my number 1. I feel like, this is where it gets tough, because Great Big Beautiful Life is my most recent read by her. So it's like, I gave that one a 5-star rating. So it's like, is Happy Place my number 1? And then Great Big Beautiful Life number 2? And then like Beach Read, Book Lovers. I don't know. I feel like I need to reread them all and just figure out my ranking of these books, like, fresh in my mind. But Happy Place and Great Big Beautiful Life are the 2 most recent ones I've read. So it's like, I feel like those ones are for sure. I don't know. I'm feeling so conflicted, but I love this. Definitely read this. It is just such a beautiful story. I don't really know what else to say, you guys. I really don't. I'm definitely gonna need to think about my rating on this for a little while, but like I said, it's at least 4.5 stars, and I feel like that's pretty good for this video. I'm gonna keep picking up more books until we get like a for sure 5-star. Even a 4.5 star, amazing, especially when I've been in like a 3-star slump so far this year. This book did what it needed to do. It kind of got me out of this reading slump, and now I just want to reread every Emily Henry book. Is that crazy? Should I do a whole video just rereading Emily Henry? Would you guys like seeing that? Do you want like full spoilers, spoiler free? Let me know your thoughts on that, because I think that would be really, really fun, just spending a few weeks rereading Emily Henry, because oh my gosh, this just reignited my love for her. That's where I'm gonna end this little segment. I think I know what book I'm gonna start next, but I will see you when I start reading it. But yeah, just if you take anything away from this video, this is amazing. Read this and then probably watch the movie. I haven't watched the movie yet. I'm gonna watch the movie and see how it compares, but definitely read the book because it deserves all the hype, and I feel so bad for dogging on it for the last few years. Okay, I went on to the next book to try and find a 5-star read, and for that I picked out Broken Country by Claire Leslie Hall, and I actually did end up starting and finishing this. It was very, very good. I'll get into that in a second. But I did want to give a little bit of an update on People We Meet on Vacation, because when I finished this, I was definitely unsure of my rating. I was like, I think it's a 4.5. Is it a 5? I don't know. But then I started talking to my best friend Caitlin, and she also started the book, so I told her I finished it, and I was just like talking about all of it and what I loved and everything about it. And she was like, so you gave it a 5-star clearly. And I was like, well, I don't know. Like, I think it might just be a 4.5. And she was like, girl, I know you. I know your reading taste. I know when you absolutely love a book. And the way you're talking about people we meet on vacation right now, it was a 5-star for you. So I was like, I fear bestie Caitlin might be right. And I don't know why I fear that, because yeah, she's right. I did love this. I don't know why I was like trying to knock down points. Like, this is definitely a 5-star read. So we have accomplished what I wanted to do in this video. So now the other books that I'm reading are just kind of for funsies to see if we can find another 5-star read. Because wouldn't that just be incredible to find multiple 5-star reads in this video? But at least we have one, so just wanted to come on and update about that. Also, I watched the movie. I gave the movie 6 out of 10. My husband, who has not read the book, gave it 8 out of 10. I just feel like they left out so many key moments of the book that I love so much, and they really changed a lot, and it just like did not need to be changed. I feel like if I wouldn't have read the book, I would have really enjoyed the movie, like also given it 8 out of 10 like my husband, but because I know what the movie is supposed to be like, it just did not live up to the book. So in case you were wondering about that. And Broken Country, you guys, I picked this up. I was just gonna read a few chapters, and then I read, oh gosh, like 250 pages. Yeah, I could not put this book down. I seriously could have sat and read it in one sitting. This book is taking place throughout different timelines, but mostly, I want to say, in like the 1960s. We are following our main character, Beth. It is her POV, and she is just recounting life and what brings her up to the moment where her life is like forever changed. Basically, she lives on a farm with her husband and her brother-in-law, and one day the neighbor's son and his dog are on their property, and Beth's brother-in-law ends up shooting the kid's dog. And the neighbor is actually Beth's old, basically like high school sweetheart, like fling. So that is bringing up a lot of memories. And also, Beth had a son of her own with her husband who has passed away a few years ago. So now Beth is seeing this boy, the son of her past lover, and being just so reminded of her own son and missing her own son so much more than she already was. And basically how their lives are forever changed because Beth's brother-in-law shot her ex-lover's son's dog. This is such a beautiful book. I obviously loved it. I would not have sat and read majority of it in one sitting if I didn't love it. When I tell you, there was just like plot twist after plot twist after plot twist, reveal after reveal after reveal all throughout this book. Like, we would get hit with something 25% through the book, and I'm like, whoa, that seems pretty big for like only being a quarter way through the book. And then you get hit with another thing at 50% and then 75% and so on. Like, you're getting hit with stuff all the time, and you're seeing multiple timelines, and all those timelines like start clicking into place a little bit until you have the full story out in front of you, and it is just insane. Like, the last 50 pages of this book, I don't even know how many reveals there are, but there's a lot. Okay? And not like in a bad way, not like it's just thrown in there. Like, there are definitely like breadcrumbs, I feel like, to pick up on throughout the book so that you get the full picture at the end. I was using this analogy with Caitlin earlier today, actually. I was like, it's like when you have a puzzle. You don't just have the completed puzzle at the end, you have all the puzzle pieces before that you have to fit together to get your picture at the end. Where some books, I feel like stuff is just thrown to have a picture at the end. But this one actually makes sense that you have all the pieces throughout to make the puzzle at the end. There are so many sad moments in here, but there are also so many sweet and heartwarming moments. There are some things I don't like. There are a lot of things I love, though. I am actually gonna go with a 4.5 star rating on this one. You guys, this was really close to being a 5-star read, so a great contender for this video. But I will say, it took me a hot minute to get into. Probably like the first, trying to look back, maybe like the first 30 to 50 pages, I wasn't like entirely invested because you're just thrown in, not really understanding what's going on, and there's so many different characters, like so many names, and you also have the multiple timelines that you're just like jumping around, and then you have the new names, and it's just like not explained in the beginning, but as you continue reading, you like get to know all the characters and you get to understand each timeline and like the different characters within each timeline. So it really starts to make sense, but I will say it was a little bit hard to get into, and I feel like that's really my only complaint for notching it down half a point. If this would have grabbed my attention, which it did a pretty good job at grabbing my attention, but if I wouldn't have been so confused, I guess, in the beginning and trying to keep track of all these characters in the different timelines, I feel like this would have been a 5-star. But this is such a beautiful story. I would definitely recommend it. And I definitely feel better that like the pressure's off to find a 5-star read, but I'm still gonna try and find more, okay? And I think we're gonna have a pretty good contender with what I plan on starting next for this video. So I will see you then. Okay, so the next book I decided to start for trying to find a 5-star read is May Luna. I don't remember the name of the author and I don't have the physical book. I've been reading it on Kindle Unlimited. I will just like insert a picture and you'll know what I'm talking about. I had no idea what this book was about before going into it. I have seen it circulating a little bit, like really over the past year, I want to say. And I would always talk about how The Favorites by Lane Fargo is one of my favorite books of all time. That was definitely my top book of 2025. I will never, ever, ever shut up about that book. If you're sick of it, I don't care. I love that book, okay? So I would talk about how much I love that and how that is kind of like similar vibes to Daisy Jones and the Six, which I also love. I just love books like that. So people would recommend me May Luna, and by people, I mean, I think like literally 2 people recommended it, but I feel like 2 is a lot to like recommend the same book after I talk about a very specific book that I like. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go download it on Kindle Unlimited. And then it sat on my Kindle library, like unread for months and months and months. And I was like, I need to just read this, because if people are telling me I'm gonna love it because I love The Favorites and Daisy Jones and the Six and just books like that, they're like, yeah, you're gonna love this, because it's kind of like a toxic, messy relationship. So that's really the only thing I knew or had like an inkling of what May Luna was gonna be going into it. I'm now 50% through, so I thought I'd give you my thoughts on it so far, and obviously a little summary of what it's about. So it is dual POV following Evie and Carter. Carter is the lead singer of the band May Luna, very, very popular band. And Evie was originally like a journalist. She was interviewing the band and the band members, and she ends up dating Carter and being in like a serious relationship with him for, I want to say, a long time. I don't know exactly because like I haven't finished the book or anything. But you start off the book and it's like 20 years later, because Evie and Carter and the band was like in its prime in the 90s, okay? So you start the book like 20 years, no, probably more than 20 years after, because Evie now has been married and she has kids, and her kids have no idea about like this past life of hers where she was like so involved with the band, like this very, very, very famous band. Like her kids know all about May Luna and whatnot, but they have no idea that their mom was literally dating the lead singer of the band. So they find this stuff and they ask her about it, and then she starts telling them the story of just like her whole life with the band. So I was expecting like going into a romance, right? But it's more so just like general fiction with a romance subplot, which I'm totally fine with. I love general fiction with a romance subplot, so I'm kind of happy it's not just like strictly romance. I feel like we're not getting, I don't know, we're definitely starting to get more background and more like emotional depth to the characters now, but it took a long time to get there, like 50% of the book to get there and like get both their backstories and why they are the way that they are, what they have both been through, the traumas that they both endured, and why they are the way they are. Like we are finally uncovering that and getting to that a little bit, but I feel like it's taken a while to get there, and it was just like kind of boring up to that point. I'm not gonna say it was like totally boring, but it definitely did not really keep my attention. I wasn't like, oh my god, I need to pick up the book and read. Like, and when I read The Favorites and Daisy Jones and the Six, I could not put those books down because it was like so dramatic and just like new information always being thrown at you, and you just wanted to keep reading. And I'm just not getting the same vibes with May Luna, unfortunately. I do think it's gonna start to get really interesting, and I think there's definitely gonna be like a big plot twist, but like also I'm just like not even feeling the romance between Evie and Carter. Like, it's fine, but I'm not obsessed with them. I don't know, we'll see how this last 50% of the book goes, because obviously I'm sure there's going to be a lot more drama as their relationship continues, and as we see like what happens between them, why they're not together in the present tense. But as of right now, definitely not feeling a 5-star, unfortunately. But I am going to keep reading. It's my goal to either finish the book tonight or like tomorrow morning. So I will see you back probably when I'm finishing it up, honestly, or if I have any other like crazy reactions throughout. Alright, I just finished May Luna. I will say the last 50% of the book was good, but I definitely feel like I like the first part better. There's 2 parts of the book, kind of like the before and then kind of like the after, and I definitely liked the before better because it was really focused on Evie and Carter's relationship, which is what I really cared about. I mean, I cared about the part 2 stuff as well, but I definitely preferred reading the romance aspect of it. I don't know, there's a lot of different themes in this book, like love, the loss of that love, like the wanting to just get that love back, feeling like a shell of yourself, like you're not living to your full potential, you're not living at your happiest. And I really do love those themes throughout books, but they just felt very surface level in this book to me, I guess. I just could not really connect with either of the characters. We read majority of the book in Evie's POV, and even though we were reading about her like 90% of the time, I still just feel like I could not connect with her. I did not love the romance between her and Carter. Like, it was fine, but I feel like it was not this like great epic love story that the book is trying to sell it as. Like, it's definitely not the same as The Favorites and Daisy Jones and the Six. It's still good, but just not fully there for me, I guess. And also, like, seeing Carter through Evie's eyes, I don't know, like, he just did not seem like the greatest person, I guess. Not that he was a bad person, but there are a lot of other book boyfriends that I would prefer over Carter. I am a bit disappointed that I didn't enjoy this more. I think I'm gonna go with a 3.5-star rating. I still really liked it, but it just like was not giving me that emotional depth and connection that I love in books. There were a few pretty good twists throughout the book, especially there at the end, but still definitely not like the most captivating book I've ever read. Like with The Favorites, I literally could not put that book down. I think I finished it in like 24 hours or a little over 24 hours because it was so good and it just had me on the edge of my seat, and it was crazy. Literally a roller coaster of emotions. Like, I hated so many things that would happen in the book, but like I could not stop reading it, and I love that book. I love that book, but I also hate a lot of the things that happen in that book, and I just don't feel the same with May Luna. And the only reason I'm really talking about The Favorites that much and like comparing it is because people would recommend it to me when I said I love The Favorites. So it's like they were comparing it, so I was like, okay, it must be like similar. And to me, the vibes just like aren't similar at all. That being said, I would definitely still recommend May Luna. It was good, but it was not a 5-star. But we did have one 5-star read of this video, and that's what I was trying to do, find my first 5-star read of the year, and we accomplished that. And I read some other good books as well, but that is where I'm going to end this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you got some book recommendations. If you did like it, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you back very, very soon with another video. Bye!